Bring in Sal Paolantonio, Hall of Fame voter, ESPN national correspondent. How did we get to this point, Sal?
Pretty shocking, Dan. Pretty shocking. I think it's a matter of procedure as it is a matter of the voters' decisions. You know, by the bylaws of the Hall of Fame, I can't talk to you about the process. I can just tell you what I did and what I considered. I voted for Bill Belichick as a first ballot Hall of Famer. I supported him as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Of course, you know, when you're in this process, you do your due diligence for all of the candidates because A, that's your job, and B, this is their legacy, and you want to make sure you get it right. So I take it really seriously. And of course, I considered Spygate. I considered whether he was going to come back into the NFL. I considered whether it was more Brady than Belichick. All of those things went into my thinking. But in the end, Dan, I decided that his credentials and his accomplishments outweighed all of those things, making him a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, the procedure part is a little idiosyncratic because we had two votes. The first one was we had three seniors, L.C. Greenwood, Roger Craig, and Ken Anderson. They were the finalists. And then Bob Kraft as the contributor, and then Bill Belichick. And we were asked to vote for three of the five. And in the end, according to the reporting, I'm not going to give away what I know about the vote. I don't really know much about the class. We're not told. It's supposed to come out at the honors ceremony next Thursday. Belichick didn't get the required votes. Whether that was members of the committee saying, you know what, I'm going to vote for my guy or for somebody else because I know Belichick's going to get the required votes. So I'm not going to waste my vote on Bill Belichick. And, you know, I hope that's not what people were thinking. I don't know. But you have to ask somebody who didn't vote for him because I voted for him.
Yeah, but I don't know if anybody's going to make that public.
No, probably not.
Should we make it public?
100%. We should make everything public. We live it, Dan. You have cameras in the courtroom. You have cameras everywhere. And I think, you know, some people say, well, that will chill the debate. No, I think that will concentrate and focus the debate in the room. If you have cameras in the room, and by the way, sell it. And I've always said, I mean, come on, you could have who wouldn't watch the Hall of Fame debate?
Well, this is what I've said for years. Put it on NFL Network.
Yeah.
Have it start at 10 in the morning and go to 6 at night. And it's like C-SPAN. C-SPAN's not very exciting, but there are moments that it is, and they're voting on some really serious stuff. I would love to have a little more transparency, and I would hope that those who didn't vote for Bill can at least explain why you didn't. And if you say Spygate, I'm fine with that. If you say that Deflategate, I'm fine with that. But I don't think you can look at Bill's resume and say he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Unless you're factoring in something that we don't know, and I was told the same thing you were, and that is Bill coming back to the NFL? Don't want to have somebody in the Hall of Fame who's still an active coach, and whether that's true or not, but I was just kind of surprised. Then Jimmy Johnson calling those who didn't vote for Bill cowards. Pretty harsh.
Let's tone down the rhetoric there. I don't think that that's the case. I think it's important. Let's look at the philosophy of what you just laid out. You and I are in agreement. I believe in the First Amendment. I believe in the Sunshine Law in Florida. All public records, public. Cameras in the courtroom. We want to hold public officials accountable. Certainly we want to hold Hall of Famers accountable. And the best way to do that, hey, now you got to put a suit and a tie on and you're in the meeting and you have to make your case. And I would say it's not like C-SPAN, because I've been in that room. It's more like Prime Minister's Question Time. If you've ever seen that, you make your case and then people shout and moan and scream and then, you know, they come right back at you, my right honorable friend and all that. I love watching Prime Minister's Question Time because it's a lot of fun and it's interesting to be. But that's philosophically and procedurally But I'm a big believer, Dan, in doing what it takes to put people in the Hall of Fame, not keep them out. So I think that we should have a coach every year, separate category, up or down, because you got Belichick waiting, Coughlin waiting, Shanahan waiting, Holmgren waiting. Andy Reid is going to be in the queue. That's five guys. Bob Kraft has waited way, way, way too long. I was his presenter for 3 years. And talk about debate. And Bob Kraft's waited too long. Adam Vinatieri and other special teams guys should get in maybe once every 3 years or 5 years. How about Sean Landetta? Has been on two all-decade teams. Vinatieri, Steve Tasker. These guys should be in the assistant coaches. Tom Moore, Monty Kiffin, Ben. I'm thinking of the old Eagles defensive coordinator, Carson, Jim Johnson.
Bud
all these
Carson.
guys, Bud Carson, excuse me, thank you, Dan. All these guys should have a chance to go into the Hall of Fame. Maybe it's a separate wing, separate category, but I'm for putting guys in, not keeping them out.
Yeah, but there's this backlog now because these other coaches, now they get pushed back another year. I don't know if Ken Anderson or L.C. Greenwood or Roger Craig get in. And somebody told me this morning, we have to go back to what it was, a couple of years ago. If you get down to five, Sal, five should go in. Not get down to five and then we're going to vote for three to go in. And you got to get 80%. I don't, just feels like there are guys, if I say Luke Kuechly, Hall of Famer, you go yes. Correct? Adam Vinatieri, Hall of Famer, yes. We get caught up in procedural instead of what the goal is to celebrate the game with guys we know are Hall of Famers. Like Larry Fitzgerald's going to get in, probably his first ballot. That means Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne are not going to get in. But this backlog is what concerns me as we move forward. And I agree with you. If you want to have a coaching category and you want to have just players and then you have a contributor, that's fine. But, I thought it was just a bad day for the Hall of Fame yesterday.
Well, it's great when Bill Belichick can lead to reform.
Did he have a good day yesterday?
Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that he did personally, but listen,
No, I'm talking about national.
Yeah,
it's a reminder.
His legacy is not tarnished, okay, by this. And here's what I would like people to understand: the Hall of Fame is not tarnished by this. Bill Belichick's legacy is not tarnished by this. Whoever gets in this year should not be tarnished by the fact that Bill Belichick did not get in. Those are all mutually exclusive things. I think that it can lead to change, and that will be good for sure. But it's going to be okay, Dan. We're gonna figure this out.
Sal Paolantonio, ESPN national correspondent. He was in Denver covering the AFC title game. Sean Payton firing a few coaches there, and I don't know if he's budging too much on going for it on 4th and 1. I think he said, I'd still go for it, but I would change the play.
Listen, he should have gone. He should have kicked the field goal. Even, a lot of the metrics say he should have kicked the field goal. If you could have seen me in the press box when he lined up to go for it on 4th and 1, you wouldn't want to be sitting next to me. I mean, I was like banging the table. You got to be kidding me. Take the points. You got to take the points in the first quarter in a championship game. B, you have a backup quarterback you're playing. Points are at a premium. C, everybody in the world knew about the forecast. I was talking about it on Countdown at 11 o'clock in the morning. Major snowstorm coming in. It's going to change the dynamics of the game. Points are going to be at a premium. It's got to kick the field goal. But that should not take anything away from New England. So I'm really impressed with New England's front four, front seven. Zach Kerr, the guy calling the plays, the inside linebackers coach, who I call Baby Vrabel, was an intern at Ohio State, went with Mike to Tennessee. He outsmarted Sean Payton on that play.
Yeah.
You saw what he did, that dynamic six-man front, played zone behind it. Uh, Boy, oh boy. And he's got Milton Williams, who played in Philly in that defense a year ago that blew up Patrick Mahomes. Don't count out that Patriots defense. Overlooked and underrated. They come after the quarterback with relentless energy. And I know everybody's talking about, well, you can't leave Gonzalez or Carlton Davis alone with these receivers. Well, the Eagles did that last year. So I'm just saying, don't sleep on that Pats defense at all.
The Browns have hired Todd Monken as their new head coach.
So you know what that means, Dan?
Somebody had to take the job.
That means the offensive coordinator job is open in Philly, the Jets, and the Giants. That means I'm firing up the easy pass, Dan. I'm getting on the turnpike at exit 4. Then I'm going to make a left at 78, go over to Madison to the Jets at Florham Park. Then I can go up. I'm going to be in the Easy Pass Hall of Fame, Dan.
What are the Jets doing, by the way? They fired all their coaches.
Yeah. We could spend a whole segment on the Jets. We could probably spend a whole week on the Jets, and I don't think, and I try not to be facetious because these are men's lives and families' lives, and it's hard when these guys have to move on and move their children into a new school. It's very difficult. But they got to somehow get it figured out because Aaron Glenn really does he have one more year to figure it out, Dan? Probably one more year, yeah. Maybe. Yeah. But it's not his fault because they didn't give him a quarterback. And it's the same way with Tomlin. Why did Mike Tomlin walk away in Pittsburgh? Well, look at the quarterbacks he had to work with since Ben Roethlisberger retired. Look at Cleveland. The front office and the ownership made so many mistakes with the quarterback position, and you have a revolving door at the coaching staff and who wants to go work there. So you look at all these situations, and I'm a big believer in two things when you hire a head coach. One, is he a culture changer? And two, can he coach the quarterback, or does he have somebody who can do that? Those are the two main ingredients. So you look at Sean Payton, you got 2 for 1 with Sean Payton. He could do both jobs. He certainly changed the culture, and he coaches the quarterback and did a remarkable job. You look at, on the other side, in the AFC Championship game, Mike Vrabel, culture changer, but he hired the right guy to handle the quarterback in Josh McDaniels. I love to watch McDaniels coach. He greets the quarterback when he comes off the field at the sideline. They sit next to one another on the bench, him and Drake May. They look at the tablet. This is what went right. This is what went wrong. This is what you got to do next. And his design is complex enough, but also simple enough for a young quarterback to execute and to foil pretty much any defense you come against. And by the way, how about Drake May? Ran for 6 of the Patriots' 12 first downs in that game.
He better be their leading rusher in the Super Bowl because there's yards out there. He could have gotten yards against Denver, I thought. I thought that he could have taken advantage of that. He could have been Josh Allen-like, or maybe light, against Denver.
Is that the Dan Patrick special prop bet of the week right there?
Well, I don't gamble. But
I don't either.
But I would be curious what his over-under rushing total is, because there were yards out there to get, and it just felt like they kept just forcing a running play up the middle and not gaining much. Or even when he went back to pass, I just thought he could have taken off and run. I'd like to see a little bit more, and against that Seattle defense, probably going to have to do that.
I got a guy in South Philly for you. He'll look it up for you.
Do you gamble?
I do not at all. 0. Plus, it's against Disney policy. But we're allowed to talk about gambling content. That's the church and state of it. We can talk about gambling content, and I don't gamble. I like to take all my money, Dan, and give it to my grandchildren. That's all I do.
Well, I like that you're the poster child for not gambling at the mothership there, but you're probably in the minority. Just letting you know.
Have a nice day, Dan.
Thank you, Sal. Sal Paolantonio covering the NFL nationwide, worldwide there.